Hi everybody, it's Lori.
Hey guys, Sarah.
And welcome to Mindful Witchery Podcast.
We are back for episode 26.
Wow, can you believe 26 episodes of this?
I know. Is it official?
And thank you so much everybody for continuing to follow us and showing us the love. We always, every week when we put out a new episode, we get so much love, and it's so exciting and so gratifying to know that we're a big family here at Mindful Witchery.
We've got so many new followers lately on Instagram. I think every day we've been getting at least one or two new followers.
That's crazy.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot.
Every little bit
awesome.
helps.
And especially since our Patreon announcement.
Yes.
Too. Everybody's been super supportive, and we've already gotten emails and messages about people wanting merch, which
February
is
26th.
February 26th. And so we could talk about for a second too on February 26th. We're going to be doing some fun things on Instagram. I don't know if Lori and I will be able to be together for that day. We'll figure it out. But we're going to do some live stream related things, either on Instagram or Facebook, just to talk about Patreon and all the fun things and our merch.
All the things that are coming up.
We already posted some pictures of one of our shirts, and we'll be posting other things too.
Yes, and I will post a picture soon of the hat.
Oh,
my husband is actually wearing the hat. When I got it in the mail, I had it sitting here on the couch, and my husband walked in and he goes, "Oh my gosh, did you get that for me?" And I didn't have the heart to tell him I got it for me. And so I was like, "Sure, yeah, honey, I got it for you." And he's been wearing it ever since. He sported it all up and down the eastern seaboard when we traveled to North Carolina and back.
That hat, I'm in love with. I'm actually going to order one for myself today.
I think I might too. I might order one for myself.
And the quality, Lori and I don't.
No, we don't want cheap stuff.
We don't want cheap stuff. We want the good stuff.
No janky stuff. It has to be. We want you to have good quality merchandise so it stays together, and you can tout Mindful Witchery wherever you go for as long as you want. And believe me, folks, we wash these things. We wash them over and over and over to see how lasting they are, and the hat is embroidered.
Yeah. Oh, guys, it's so... And it has Harold, our death head, on it. Ooh, my voice just cracked. Did you hear that?
You're getting a voice change. She's drinking out of my smiley face cup.
Start talking like a smoker now. No, I'm drinking out of the smiley face cup. Yeah, I'm just so excited. I can't stop talking about it. And if you want more info on that, we'll be giving away info on the 26th. For the merch, which will be coming out in March.
How exciting is that?
I know, it's so exciting. It's awesome. So Lori and I were just sitting here talking about a bunch of things.
Yeah, that's the thing, when Sarah and I get together, a lot of what you don't hear, which is going to be on our Patreon, some of the things that we talk about when we're not on the microphone.
Yeah, what we're recording before we start recording.
So if you join Patreon when it comes out on February 26th, you'll be able to get these behind the scenes conversations and things that we talk about that inspire us to talk about what we talk about on Mindful Witchery Podcast.
Totally. Yeah.
Sometimes it gets crazy.
Yeah, we just talked about Tom Hardy for 15 minutes. So
we talked about dying and Tom Hardy all in the span of 15 minutes.
It's going to be great. Yeah, so we're going to start putting these little clips before our episodes on our Patreon.
This is where the ideas come from.
Yeah, especially when Tom Hardy's involved.
When Tom Hardy is involved, honestly, I have to say, that movie that I recommended to you called Locke, L-O-C-K-E, if you guys haven't seen that movie with Tom Hardy, if you're a Tom Hardy fan or not, if you're not a Tom Hardy fan, I don't understand you.
Yeah, don't listen to us.
But it's such a good movie. The entire movie takes place inside of a car. It's brilliant. I thought it was brilliant. My husband, Roger, didn't care for it. He felt a little claustrophobic. But the whole thing, the guy's life falls completely apart. Oh, hello? I think I'm just going to leave that in.
I forget we were just talking about Tom Hardy. Oh, yeah, we were talking about Tom Hardy and his amazing video. Lori just got a phone call.
Yeah, I just got a phone call for a very exciting reason, folks. Yeah. And I have to tell you, this is a good segue into it. I just got a new car. Yay. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to post pictures. Because the reason this is so exciting, and I know people buy new cars every day, but the fact is, since I got married, I have not picked out a single car. There's been I've been married for 26 years, and we've had a lot of cars in those 27 years almost. Wow. And we've had a lot of cars, and I don't like to go car shopping. Oh, it's just not my thing. And part of the time, the new cars coincided with when I was pregnant. Wow. I was really pregnant, and I didn't want to go anywhere. And they were summertime. And I was like, Roger, you just go pick. You bring something home, and I'll say yay or nay. And I remember one time he brought home a Jeep Cherokee, and I was 7 months pregnant, and it was like 100 degrees outside. And I went outside to look at it, and I'm like, this is the ugliest car I have ever seen in my life.
So bad.
I wouldn't drive this if you paid me to drive it. I mean, I was completely out of it. I just, But finally, for the first time, the planets have aligned, and my husband hit a deer with my car, and it totaled it. So I had to go out and buy a new car. And hubby took me to Peabody, Mass, to the Mini Cooper outlet. And I got a 2019 Mini Cooper, and her name is Persephone.
Beautiful.
And she's going to be here. They're delivering it. She's going to be here in 30 minutes.
Luxury. You deserve it.
I'm so excited.
So excited for you.
This is like one of those things that that's my dream car. And I'm so excited about getting it. It's small. It's a 4-door, but it's very small. It's shorter than me. So I'm going to have to, like, climb into it. But
can we sage it when it gets here?
Yes.
We should just walk around. Let's freak out your neighbors.
We're going to sage the car when it gets here. I'm going to talk to Andrew, who was absolutely a wonderful salesperson at Mini Cooper of Peabody. Andrew was fantastic. He walked us through the process. He let us try as many cars as we needed because, let's face it, finding a car for a witch is not an easy thing.
The vibes need to be there.
Absolutely. I drove 4 cars. I drove 4 Mini Coopers. And all of them were basically the same color. Close to the same year. Close to the same model. But only this one felt right.
It's like the stars and the planets aligned when your butt sat on the seat.
Exactly. And it was the first... If you ever want to go buy a Mini Cooper, if you've never driven a Mini Cooper, then you should definitely go test drive one somewhere before you make the decision to buy it. When we showed up at Peabody, Andrew, wonderful, he comes out and he says, I've got a car for you to drive because you've never driven a Cooper. It's like, he said, I pulled out a new one so you could drive it and just kind of get a feel for what a Cooper feels like because it's a little different than other cars. So he puts me in this car, this 2021 Cooper. We start driving down the road, and I'm scared to death because it's got all these bells and whistles and lights and things.
It's like talking to you, like,
boom,
hello,
boom,
Lori.
Boom, boom. It's just, I was so scared, and my husband's in the car, and my 2 kids are in the back in this little tiny Cooper. And it literally does everything. We pulled up to a stop sign, and it had, the screen showed arrows and lines where people were around me.
Oh, I get nauseous. I don't think I could handle that.
It really... So I got back to the dealership, and I told Andrew, I said, Andrew, you're going to have to dumb this down for me a little bit. And I said, this is too much bell and whistle for me. I said, I have horrible ADHD. I can't deal with this.
Too much distraction.
So then he puts me in one that's an older, like a 2016, which is not old to me. I had a 2009 Scion. This is not old to me.
Yeah, I have a 2010.
And it had no bells and whistles. It was really hard to connect to the Bluetooth. It was, it was kind of like driving my Scion.
Gotcha.
And then I drove a 2019, and it was perfect. It was Persephone. That name just came to me, Persephone.
The clouds parted, and the sun came shining down.
She's a beaut. She's gray. She's scenic gray.
Oh, I love gray cars.
She's a beauty.
We both have a gray car now.
Yes.
That's so exciting.
So I know I made that long story long, but it was such a treat. If you guys ever want a Cooper, visit Mini of Peabody.
We do have a lot of listeners in the New England area. So.
They are so nice to you there. It is just unbelievable. And then at the end of the thing, I got merch because I bought one. I got merch. I got brand new floor mats. I got a trash can that says Cooper on it. I mean, they even
have a hot towel for your...
for
your luxury.
They're it's so nice there. And for a car to be not that expensive, I mean, if you think in terms of cars, that car wasn't that expensive compared to other vehicles. And they treat you so nice.
That's awesome.
They're so nice. And it's kind of like, I told Roger, I said, it's like going to Tiffany's in New York. No matter what you're buying, they treat you like the royalty and the princess that you are.
Everybody's equal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't look at your clothes and when you come in and go, oh, they're not going to buy anything, so I'm not going to bother. They look at everybody as a potential buyer. And they just a fantastic experience. We were there for 3 hours, and every bit of it was cool.
That's awesome.
You know,
it's such a nightmare. My experience is like I've never been to a dealership to buy a car, but like I've been with other people and it's like I feel like I'm gonna sleep for days after. It's so overwhelming, like the pushiness.
Yep.
And that's so good to know that.
And you go to them, you go to many of Peabody, and they don't push it. Like, we made an appointment to talk to a dealer.
Nice.
We called, and we were like, we wanted to come down. We wanted to see what your hours were, see if you're open because of COVID. We didn't know. And they're like, sure, let's make you an appointment. And we got there at 10 o'clock Saturday morning, and Andrew was waiting for us and had the car out for us that he wanted us to drive. And
that's awesome.
And it was a perfect car buying experience, and I've never had that before. Never, ever, ever.
I wonder, this makes me think, I wonder if tactics for marketing and tactics for sales have shifted.
May have, yeah.
Because, like, you look at, like, if you guys have ever seen Mad Men, like, hot damn, like, crazy town. But, like, I feel like things are changing in all these ways about people focusing back to, like, home. And I feel like making you feel like you're part of something.
Yes.
That whole marketing strategy is kind of coming back.
It really is, because I know even with this experience, our representative, Andrew, he told us that and I know they always say this, they said, you're not just buying a car, you're kind of buying a family.
Yeah.
But then he started to tell us things that they do, like every year at Christmas, they do Secret Santa for
awesome.
their customers.
That's so cool.
They do get-togethers where you learn about certain things about making your Mini Cooper an heirloom. They have all kinds of cool merch that they give away for customers who bought cars.
That's awesome.
I mean, really just kind of neat little things. Not that I'm going to run out and be a Cooper enthusiast
you
or
can
anything.
do where was I? Colorado, maybe? Somewhere out west. And there was like a Mini Cooper club where they were driving across country in their Coopers. And everyone was all decked out. I saw the one with the British flag on the top. They were ones that, they were like the craziest, like one was like tie-dye. And I also seen that same with Jeep Cherokees, like Jeeps. Maybe they weren't Jeep Cherokees, but they were like the Jeeps that you can, I call them the Jurassic Park Jeeps.
Yes.
I've seen like caravans of that, and people are like into that shit. I've never been into that, but that's so cool. That's so cool.
I mean, I want to have a personal relationship with my car because it's going to be my car for a long time.
Yeah, so Persephone
is going to be here in less than 30 minutes.
That's so exciting.
So it's super exciting.
It's like getting a new puppy.
It really is. It's like getting a new puppy. Or, we've just Roger and I have had a big few weeks in terms of things that have been happening that to kind of move ourselves forward into our new property and things like that. We bought a camper.
Yes. Oh my God. I know. I'm so excited for you. I'm like living through Lori right now. Like, it's amazing that from my perspective, like what's been going on with you, it's like you put all these things in motion, and it was like things were so stagnant, right, for so long, and then all of a sudden everything kind of happens within like a few weeks, and that just seems to how it usually goes. Like this momentum starts, and you just got to go for it.
It really is,
rolling.
And I think that's what you and I have talked about, that how important it is that if there's something that you want to really be aware of how you kind of sabotage. Like, I know for years Roger and I have sabotaged a lot of things because we were afraid.
Yeah.
So we would do the what if game. Well, what if we did this and you lose your job? Knowing full well that that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's or what if this happens? What if this happens? What if I get sick? What if we do this? What if that happens? What if we have a hurricane that destroys the earth? Yeah. I mean, you can do what if all day long.
What if this is when the aliens come today and want to take us away?
You can do what if. And I think Roger and I have sabotaged a lot for so long that finally just when we bought the property in the Catskills, that was the catalyst for, you know what? We know we're going to have to do this. We might as well go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
We got to have a place. We got to have four walls to stay in when we go up there while we're building our house. So why not just go ahead and
why not now?
Let's do it.
I love how that happens too. It's like it's almost like you break past that wall within your thinking.
And I'm not one. I'm one to kind of forge ahead and not ask for advice or apology, or not apologize, not beg for forgiveness. Just move right ahead. It. But my husband is more pragmatic than that, and he really does think, and think some more about things. And he just has gotten to the point where he knows that we're getting older, and we have this land that we want to be our retirement place, and we're going to do everything we can to make that happen. And so the camper seemed like the obvious next move. Right now, the driveway's being built, and there's going to be a little pad right there, a paddock, for us to put our camper on until we can build our house in 5 years. And so we're moving along. And I'm telling you, that experience of shopping for campers, that's tough when you're a witch. I mean, it's tough anyway, but it's really tough because that's a home.
That's
a home, and I mean, I went through, and thank goodness Roger narrowed it down. He surprised me with narrowing it down to like 5.
He's so smart.
He did. He took me there as a surprise. He's like, okay, I got a surprise for you yesterday. It's a surprise. He's like, I got a surprise for you.
He knows what's up.
He does.
Props to Roger if he ever listens to this.
He had gone and picked out 5. He talked to somebody and picked out 5. And he's like, we're going to go through these 5, and if these 5 don't work, if any of these 5 don't work, then we'll look again. And so we looked through, and I'm like, oh no, this feels weird. Oh no, the color's weird. No, there's something about where that couch is that doesn't suit me. And oh, it's not open enough. Oh, it doesn't have enough windows. Oh, there's not enough air access. So we literally went through 5 campers of me going, no, until the 5th one. And the 5th one I really liked. It's got a lot of windows. It's got a lot of space. It's got slide outs so we have more room. Oh. And now all we're trying to figure out is where in the hell are we going to put the cat? Where do you put a litter? If anybody out there, guys, I'm serious. I would love to hear from anybody who owns a camper who can tell me, what in the hell do you do with your cat?
Like the cat box?
The cat box.
I have an idea, Lori. I've seen this. So I'm obsessed with campers. Mm-hmm. Not something I talk about often, but I'm constantly looking on Zillow. Mm-hmm. I'm constantly looking at campers that are for sale. I've seen somebody who redid this trailer, and what they did was they made a special cat door that went into the side of a cabinet on the floor, and they put the cat box in there, and they had one of like the self-cleaning ones, which kept it really like nice, but like the door blocked out odors. In the cat, that's where it would go, and it'd be easy fix. And I think this particular one, there's access to outside, so you just, to clean it, you just lift it up and then take it out, so you don't have to have any of the poop or anything inside the trailer.
They literally like crawl down into one of those spaces that leads to the outside, those storage spaces. Yeah, that's cool. Because anything I can do to deflect the smell.
Yeah, and if anybody can do it, Roger can.
That's true. He's a do-it-yourselfer. He likes that. He's already got his mind going. He's like, at first, because a lot of people have said that the basics are the best. That if you take a box like a one of those Rubbermaid totes, and you put the hole in the top, you put the litter box inside the tote.
Yes.
Hole at the top. Teach your cat to go down instead of in.
Gotcha.
They put it in the shower.
Oh.
And then when you're taking a shower, you take it out and you put it on the floor. And that kind of thing.
Right
so that's a beginning kind of place to be. But I don't think Roger's going to be satisfied with that. I think he's going to need to do surgery on the trailer.
Oh my God, there's so many, like on YouTube especially, there's so many DUI. I always say DUI. DIY.
There's so many people driving under the influence on YouTube.
Just drunk cats
everywhere. Drunk cats everywhere. Which my cat, you know what? She kind of acts like she's drunk sometimes. I don't know what's going on with her. But I've refused to go anywhere without her again. Going to North Carolina and having to leave her here. And the people who babysat her, they're the best people on the planet. And they're so wonderful with her, and she loves them. It's just, I'm selfish. I miss her terribly when we're not with her.
Yeah, she's your familiar.
She's my buddy. She's my familiar, and I feel disconnected without her. And so I said, we are never going anywhere again without her. We're going to teach her to be a traveling cat.
I think she would be just fine, because I'm sure she'll just get more attention.
Oh, she's a biatch, though.
You can even build a little cat nook up towards the ceiling, where she can sit and watch over her flock. That would be awesome.
And as much as I am the one, Roger tells me all the time, I'm the one that is obsessed with the cat. He's the one who is obsessed with making things. He wants to disassemble her cat tree and put it on the wall. Put it up the stairs.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my, she would love that.
She would love it. And she loves Roger. So
that's awesome.
She's in love with Roger. She sits around and looks at him like, I love you.
It's probably because he doesn't pay attention to her. That's usually, Carson is allergic to cats, but he doesn't really like cats. But whenever we go somewhere where there's a cat,
of course,
the cat just beelines it to him. Or even the dog. Any animal loves him. I think it's the beard.
It could be
the beard factor, the male beard factor.
I know it's with cats. They love to be around the people who dislike them the most.
I don't understand.
I have people who come here who don't like cats. Just period, don't like them. And she is right on top of them. Avery is right on top of them. Like, hi, what are you doing?
I like your cat, though. Like, I'm not a big fan. I like the idea of them, but I have talked about this before, but I like yours a lot.
She's good. She doesn't really, like, she stays away unless you want her to come.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sitting here and the cat's, like, all over me. I hate that. I'm like, I'm good. Same thing with, like, a dog, like a really hyper dog. Like, I love dogs. Oh, my God. But, like, if your dog's hyper and it won't stop jumping and it won't, like, I'm all set. I'm good.
Yeah.
Not my favorite.
I'm just not a dog person. I mean, we have a dog and I love her very much and she's really super sweet. But she's 9 years old and doesn't do much.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not going to jump on you. She can't, Yeah. And she's going to be the dog sitting on the camper porch, just laying there.
I can totally see it now.
Yeah.
In her little bed.
Yeah. We're gonna build Emily Emily. That was my other cat. Avery. We're gonna build her an outdoor, like a little fenced-in cage, like tent thing that leads from the camper out there. So she will.
Love that. Have I ever told you my cousin built a cat patio?
I love the Catios.
Yes, I'll take a picture, or I'll have her take a picture and send it. But so my cousin Siobhan, hi Siobhan, I don't know if you listen to this, but she lives up in Burlington, Vermont. She's a emergency room.
Is she the one with the witch house?
Yes, Siobhan has the ultimate witch house on top of a hill up in Vermont. Lori, we'll go visit.
We have to field trip.
Yeah, Siobhan's like my favorite person in the world. So anyway, she's an emergency room vet tech, but she rescues cats. I think last time I remember, I think she has 9 of her own. Siobhan, correct me if I'm wrong, but she rescues and fosters cats a lot. I don't know where I was going with that. What was I talking about? Oh, her catio. Her catio. So her partner Charles built a beautiful catio, and it's cool. It's like this mini, like the foundation of it was already kind of there, and they built it up, and they were caging off the top last time I was there, but oh my God, it was gorgeous because it's like in their garden almost. Oh my God, it's so cool. But their cats can go out there.
That's cool.
But they have a lot of cats in a beautiful house, and they're awesome. And oh my God. But anyway, so Siobhan volunteers for, I believe it's Grace Cat Rescue up there. So I'm going to link that below. That's where I was getting with this too, is there's a lot of cats. If you like cats,
if you want to
live in Vermont,
Grace
Cat Rescue, I believe is the name of it, but I will.
And I know not everybody's a cat person, but they really are. I mean, I love cats, so I would say this, but they really are smart. They really are low maintenance. I mean, a cat is a great animal to have if you like to travel, because if you're gone, they pretty much take care of themselves.
Yeah, they're good.
I mean, you don't want them to be alone. Like, I have somebody come over and hang out with my cat a couple hours a day while we're gone, but they're pretty self-sufficient, and it's a great animal to have if you have never had a pet, I guess. And they're kind of an easy one.
Yeah, and
dogs
I feel
are like having babies.
Yeah, I feel like cats don't experience the emotional trauma as much as dogs do. They're a bit more resilient.
We could never leave Sammy here. We could never, ever leave. She would die if we left. She would die if we were gone for a week.
Yeah, cats are like naturally bred, like instinctually, to be more self-sufficient than dogs. We bred dogs to be reliant on us. So
if I were an animal, I would be a cat.
Yeah.
I would love to be a cat. Oh, I love frogs.
I'd just be a frog. That's my familiar. As much as I love dogs, frogs, for some reason, when I'm like out and about, they just come to me.
They love you. That's your familiar.
I don't understand why, but
that's your familiar.
Yeah, it's my familiar. That's how I remember on Harry Potter. I forget who had the frog. You haven't seen Harry Potter.
Never seen Harry Potter.
Oh my God. Curse you. But there's somebody who has a frog. I think it might be Neville. Might have the frog. I don't know. You guys let me know, because I haven't read the books or seen them in a long time.
Even though I won't know what you're talking about.
I love Harry Potter.
I want to watch them.
I wanted to rewatch them this winter, but I've just been reading so much. So much, Lori.
You and I are going to take a break at some point. You and I are going to take a break. We're going to go on a girls' trip weekend to Salem. And one of those days, we're going to stay in the room, and we're going to watch all the Harry Potter movies.
Yes. In Salem. It's going to be great. We'll record it, and it's going to be awesome. I love Harry Potter, and I don't know if you know about like what's been going on with that. Is the author? So don't quote me on anything on this because I just learned about it. But I guess the author, J.K. Rowling, is under scrutiny because she's people call her a transphobe.
Oh yes, I did hear about this. That she's been saying some things
and like Daniel Radcliffe like gave a statement for it, and I just learned about this. I'm like, what's going on? But I guess she has very strong opinions about trans people and gender and sex and things like that. And I was a little disappointed, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know the whole story.
Yeah.
So if you guys know the whole story, share it.
It's true. It'd be interesting because, I mean, to me, Harry Potter, I mean, even though I don't know a lot about the books, but it seems like it's all about change and metamorphosis and things like that. So for her to be...
That's the odd part.
Yeah, that's weird.
Right? And, like, it makes me question, too, I'm sure that was her intention, and I'm sure she doesn't have bad intentions behind her beliefs. Like, I don't believe that, but to be preaching inclusivity and being open,
being who you are and appreciative and loving who you are, and it's odd, yeah. Some people have their thing though.
They have their thing, and
their implicit bias.
Like I said, I don't know enough about it, but bias. It was a little bit surprising. But I'll look more into it. Maybe if I find out more info, I'll let you guys know. But I love Harry Potter.
Everybody has their own implicit bias and explicit bias. I mean, even though we say we don't.
Even though you say you don't.
We do. And, you go online and you take those Harvard implicit bias tests. And it's weird that it comes back, with things that you're going, I never would have thought I would have been leaning in that direction.
Exactly. In how we're all kind of this product of our environment and the people we surround ourselves by. And we don't always know why we do what we do or why we think what we do. And recommendation here, I just talked to Lori about this, the Hidden Brain podcast. There's an episode, I think it's called Double Standard, and it's all about what we talked about, bias in research and bias in our own brains and how most people can't spot their bias.
I'm anxiously looking out my window to see when Persephone gets here. Ooh.
Objective reality.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to get at, and how even if you're confronted about something that you are obviously like caught being biased on, your brain literally can't see it. You can see it easily in other people, but you can't see it easily in yourself.
Isn't that strange?
It is the coolest thing. I actually went down a rabbit hole with that one. Yeah, and if you've only ever listened to this podcast, I'm going to school for psychology. So I will talk a lot about that. I can go on and on.
If you guys are interested, there's lots, and I'm sure we can find some links if you want to take an implicit bias.
They are out there.
Test.
I actually have a link for one.
That would be great.
Post there. Yeah,
because it's
future
very
Sarah, plug that in. It's fascinating.
It's very interesting to find out really what even your mini bias, even if it's things that you can't even recognize. It will surprise you.
Yeah.
It gives you a good insight.
What is a bias that you have that you've noticed about yourself?
My biases are really strange. We were talking about it one day because for those of you who don't know, I actually am a director for a family center. So I work a lot with kiddos 0 to 5. And I also have a second job as an office assistant where I work in a place where there's kids 0 to 5. So my life is consumed with children that are 0 to 5. And, some of the biases I have really that kind of center around my work are things like if a parent breastfeeds their child for too long.
Yes.
Things like letting a kiddo have a binky for too long, wearing diapers for too long. Things that I feel like impede the development of a kiddo, I have biases about.
Yeah.
And I find that I do feel differently about those parents. And not that I hate them, by any means, but it does gives me pause to think when they're around.
It's like you change your perspective.
Yeah, you really do.
Unconsciously, even.
Absolutely. So there's things that I think everybody, especially at work, that has their biases.
And if you say you don't, check it.
Yeah, check it. Check yourself.
My line, check yourself.
Yeah,
because everybody does.
And when and that's the cool thing about it, is when you realize it and when you own up to it, it makes you treat people differently. Like when I have a parent who comes in whose 4-year-old has a binky in its mouth, I really move differently in terms of what I do. there were times when I would ignore it. There's times when I would just kind of have self-talk in my head like, oh my God, that kid's 4. Why he's got a binky in his mouth?
Yeah.
And now I kind of turn the tables where I look at that person and I kind of do a self-talk of, well, I wonder, what made them think that that's a good idea. Now, so I look at it more like there must be a reason for this.
Yeah, there must
rather
be.
than, oh my God, you're an idiot.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when you really, implicit bias tests are really a good thing because they make you aware, and when you're aware, you can battle it differently than when you're not aware of it.
Yeah, and you just be a better person.
Yeah.
Overall, and like it being okay that you do.
You know when you say to yourself things like, I don't like that person, and I don't know why.
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's what implicit bias tells you, is why you don't like those people that you can't figure out why you don't like them.
Like something from your past or something said in your past. Schemas, that's the word for it, is like these like foundational memories that you base future memories off of. We all have them, and it's all, like I said before, like environment and who you surround with, friends. And so I guess one of mine is going into that is surrounding food. Is I have biases about what people eat and buy. Do I believe that in my brain now? Like I look at somebody, like what they're eating, I don't judge them, but there's something in my brain that immediately goes off and starts judging them. And I'm like, where did that come from? It must have came from somewhere.
Yeah.
Something that I heard or something, because it's been like that. It's interesting. It helps me check myself.
It does.
Too.
I think I'm more aware. I think I'm more self-aware now of that, and it makes me really mindful of how I interact with people.
100% makes you really understand people better when you take the time to try to look at something from somebody else's perspective.
And we wouldn't be in the place that we are right now in terms of our interactions with one another in our society, on how our societal kind of predicament that we're in, if we were more mindful of our biases.
Yeah, and it's like okay to be like, for it to evoke emotion too, and to like, your biases aren't necessarily wrong, but they're not necessarily bad or good. They just are.
They just are. Exactly.
And when you can kind of unravel it, you become kind of less angry. Like, and I know for me, I become less angry and less frustrated and stressed out.
And your biases aren't necessarily a negative thing. Your biases may be that you are more compassionate towards some type of person or some type of predicament than you are to others. So it could be, not only do your biases check yourself, but they also keep you, once you understand your biases, they keep you from getting taken advantage of.
Definitely. And it helps you understand other people's biases too.
Yes.
Which also helps you not be taken advantage of. Especially, the big one right now is politics.
Yeah.
There is so much political bias right now, especially in like who you support in your party and stuff, where you can't even see that your biases are preventing you from seeing this other side, because you're part of this collective group that somewhere in your brain you're like, this is what I need to believe because I'm part of this specific political group. And you can't even see that what you're accusing the other party of is exactly what you're doing.
Exactly. I've just kind of shut down as far as politics is concerned.
Oh, no. Biden got in, and I'm like, I'm good.
That was me. That was me. Seriously, Biden's there. I mean, and it's okay if you think that's not okay. Whatever. But really, seriously, Biden got in. Inauguration happened, and I completely was done.
This whole section of my brain is now free.
Yes.
And now I can start enjoying certain things more. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it
we
meant
are
the
not
world.
the only ones.
Yeah. I completely have. I don't talk about politics on my Facebook page anymore. I mean, not that I did a whole lot anyway, but every once in a while I'd get on a tear and I would talk about things when inevitably somebody would come on and disagree with me, and
it's a lot of stress. I'm hoping that gap between this like polarized type of conversation that we were for the past 4 years is going to become not normalized anymore. I'm hoping we all kind of like bridge that gap and learn to talk to each other again, especially on the internet.
Because people get fake bravery fake courage by not having to speak, not having to have their voice heard. And a lot of people have this courage, this false courage that comes up when they're on social media.
Virtual courage.
Yes, virtual
Digital courage. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say it's probably one of the many things that I've been digesting lately, and like all the things I've been reading, but it was about that, and like how they're thinking, because things have calmed down a bit, people are able now to take a step back, get that perspective, and people are realizing like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I say? Why did I say that? Because you can't really see when you're in the thick of it.
Facebook memories.
You cannot, and then it will remind you how much of an asshole you were.
Oh, I did it today, as a matter of fact. I was looking back. I look back every time at my Facebook memories. Every single day, I look back at my Facebook memories and realize what an absolute jerk I was back in 2011 or 2012. I seriously look back and go, what in the hell was I thinking when I said that?
Yeah.
I think there was one thing where I said at one point, it was way back like 2012 or something, that I said, Donald Trump running for president, well, at least it would be entertaining.
Oh, no, Lori.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, you weren't necessarily wrong.
I wasn't wrong. Yeah, I wasn't wrong.
It's definitely a ride.
I love Facebook memories because it allows you to look back at people you may have been friends with at the time, and you can delete.
Who influenced you.
Yes, and you can delete them, which is fantastic. You can delete, and you'll never see them again. That's what I love, because I've had friends who have come and gone who I'm so glad are gone.
Yep.
And I don't want to look at them. I don't want to see their stuff, so I just delete it.
Yeah.
Delete.
Who you surround yourself by is so important.
Absolutely.
I did that recently with Instagram. I used one of my 3 Instagram accounts. One of them I used when I was running my business, like years ago, when I was working at a holistic center, and I looked at some of my posts. I'm like, how? I don't really believe any of this now.
Right.
I'm like, looking who was the people I was surrounded by and influencing my thoughts and the things I would say and said I believed in, it like my stomach turned. And I'm like, I would never promote this now. I would never do. It doesn't mean it was wrong.
It's just not how you feel now. It's not who you are now.
I evolved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can, that's, if nothing else is good about it, it's that you can see that you have evolved.
Yeah, and being okay with it too. Like,
and
totally
I know people who've
okay
devolved.
Yes.
So it's,
Yeah.
And one of these days, I'll look back at my Instagram. If you would please show me how to go to my Instagram account, because right now I'm on Mindful Witchery, and I don't know how to get to Lori Allen.
Yeah, I'll show you. Okay. They changed it again, Lori.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Instagram, you need to stop.
This is why, and I mean, my kids tell me all the time that I'm backwards, because I still really love Facebook. Facebook, if they change something, they don't let you know about it, but it's always some little stupid something that doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
It might be a different symbol for something, or it might be that they took something off of the choices, but it's never anything that's detrimental to my being able to use Facebook. So, Mark Zuckerberg.
Listen, man.
I dig your platform. And I might be one of the only people left that does, but I'm telling you, I love Facebook, I have to say. And I know how to use Facebook. Yeah. My kids are like, Mom, Facebook is for old people.
It's a generational thing,
yes.
Which is interesting because Facebook did not start out that way. Oh, MySpace. Oh, I used to love MySpace.
Yes.
You could put music to your MySpace page, but Facebook, I feel like generationally, it's more, I don't know, what's your generation called? Are you part of the boomer?
I'm the boomer. I fall in between. I'm part of the boomer, but also part of, what was the one before that?
Gen Z?
The Gen Z. Gen X.
Gen X, yeah.
I'm in the middle, which totally describes me. Perfectly describes me. I'm not quite old enough to be a boomer, but I'm not quite young enough to be a Gen X.
Yeah, and I'm stuck in between the millennials and the Gen X, I believe. Yeah, I believe. And then, so Gen Z's happening right now. And oh my God. Like, to me, it's like Gen Z is TikTok. And my generation is Instagram. And like Tumblr. Oh God, I remember Tumblr. And I think it was called LiveJournal. That used to, like, all that stuff.
I don't get TikTok.
So many creatives right now are jumping ship on Instagram and going to TikTok because there's these, like, kids now that are becoming TikTok famous, and they're making like so much money, Lori, just by doing these like short videos.
Yeah.
Maybe we're missing something. I don't know.
Maybe we are missing something.
I can't handle doing something else. I'm doing enough.
I can't. I'm done learning technology.
Yeah, I jump on things late, and by the time I jump on it, it's like years down the line, and nobody cares anymore.
I know. I feel like an idiot. I've only been on Facebook since 2011. Oh, it's my car.
All right, so Lori just got her car. They just delivered it.
So guess what? We're going for a joyride.
Yeah, we're going to go for a joyride now. I cannot wait. It's beautiful.
And I just wanted to recommend, before we sign off for this episode, I tried the most wonderful thing. I have a hard time drinking water. Like just water. Sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I want to drink just plain water, and sometimes I have a hard time with it because I know I need to be drinking water, and I know I have to do it. I joined this thing called Circle, and it's not Circle like Circle, it's Cirkul, and it's a I don't know how to explain it really. It's like a water flavor subscription program. And guys, this is the coolest thing. You buy you go to their website and you buy a bottle, and it's a specialized bottle. I have to tell you that. It's not something that you can just go buy in a store.
Yeah.
But the bottle itself, you can either get a stainless steel one, which is a little more expensive, or you can get a clear one for free. And they have a lid that fits down on them, and they have filters that go into them that screw in that allow you to, they're flavored. You can get all kinds of different flavors. From watermelon to coconut and pineapple.
That
you can get
so good.
And you can get them in all kinds of different ways too. You can get them that are unsweetened. You can get them that have stevia. So there's all kinds of choices. And when you put the filter in and you screw it in, the water in the bottle comes through the filter, which makes the flavor. The flavor isn't already in the water. It comes through the filter, and that's what makes the flavor. And it gives you a dial on each filter that you can either do like a 10, which is a lot of flavor, or you could do a 5, which is kind of medium. But I leave mine on like 3 and 4, and these filters last for a week.
And it looks so, I'm looking at it now, and it's like a pretty hefty, it's like a big bottle, but not like overwhelmingly big, but it's really well made.
Yeah.
Too.
And I mean, I've dropped this. I can't tell you how many times this has fallen out of the car. And it's dinged and dented and still works perfect. Yeah. But you can dial any flavor intensity you want, and if you leave it on like 3 or 4, it lasts for a good week.
That's awesome.
The flavor.
Yeah, and not sponsored, by the way.
Right, not sponsored.
And also, if you guys want to sponsor us, we're here.
If you want to sponsor us, Circle, we are right here. But and then you can take it to an X on the dial, and that's just water. So you're not using any of your flavor.
That's so cool.
It is so cool.
That's so
and
cool.
I get a big bundle of these things every month because I do this, my kids do it, and Roger does it. So we get like I want to say it's like 36 filters.
Yeah.
And we go through, 1 or 2 a week if we want something with more intensity. And then the next month we get our next order.
You get the next
so
one.
Really you're paying for the filters. You're not paying for the bottle itself.
Yeah.
Because I've messaged them and said, my bottle has a crack in it. And they'll send you a new bottle for free.
That's so cool.
But Circle, they are fantastic. And I think the biggest thing about them is the customer service.
Oh, that's
they
so
have.
grand.
I mean, I don't know if they're sitting there watching for when I get mine delivered, but like I'm expecting a delivery today. Today's my monthly delivery, and I'm so excited. And when they deliver, you immediately get an email that says, "We see that you received your delivery for the month. Was everything in there? Is everything okay? Do you want to change flavors for next month?" Because you can go on the website anytime. Log in, because you make an account, log in and change your flavors anytime before delivery. And if you don't like a certain flavor, you get rid of it. You get more of one you like.
Customer service matters so
yes, it does.
Much.
And this place is great, guys. Circle, Cirkul.com. And again, we're not sponsored by them.
But if you guys want to sponsor us,
Circle.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm excited. I'm actually going to show that to my mom. I think she'd be really interested in that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out.
I can when I have an extra bottle, so if you want me to send you a bottle with a filter,
that'd be neat.
filters,
yeah,
then we can do that and see if your mom likes it.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna
perfect.
Try that out.
So that's my recommendation for the day, guys, is Circle Water Club.
Cool. Great way to do witchy stuff in the woods and have plentiful water.
Yes, plentiful water. The only thing that's kind of weird is when you have the clear bottles, it's weird to see the water looking clear and then drinking something that tastes like watermelon.
That always makes you feel weird.
That's why I got the stainless steel bottles. And the stainless steel bottles you pay $35 for the stainless steel bottle.
I mean, that's not
But they also make covers for the plastic bottles that are like $5.
Oh, neat.
So you can get a cover so that your senses aren't
that's neat. Oh, I like that.
So there you go, folks.
All right. So I have my recommendation. I already said it, but the Hidden Brain podcast. All the episodes I've listened to so far, fantastic. I forget the host's name because I just started listening to it, but great if you're interested in figuring out how your brains work and figuring out how to interact with people better and yourself.
I wrote it down. I'm excited.
It's fantastic. All right, guys, we're going to go for a ride.
Yes.
And we will catch you guys next time.
We'll review Cooper's next time.
Yes. Talk all about it and how I went out and bought one.
Yes,
All right, guys.
See you later.
Bye.